And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Adventure Mart. Now, I've always been attracted to the theme of having a store and selling to the adventurers. This is not the first board game with this theme. I don't even think it's the second. There's several out there like it, but I like the idea. I mean, way back in the day when I played Ultima Online, I didn't care about adventuring. I just wanted to open a store and sell stuff to people who did go adventuring. And I found that to be entertaining and amusing. And that's what this is, except it has very little chibi-esque type, almost look like Precious Moments animal type characters coming through and shopping at your store for the right goods that they need to go out and fight in the dungeons. This is a deck building game. You'll start with a deck of 10 cards. You'll be adding more as time goes by. Here's how it plays. The goal of the game is to get the most gold or cards that are worth gold. Each player is going to have a starter deck that looks like the stock cards. These will be more that you can add. These have purple fronts so you know which ones are yours. You'll be shuffling these. Everyone has the exact same and drawing 5. There's going to be a certain amount of rounds in the game. Each round a daily bulletin will be turned over and something will happen different. There's also going to be a certain number of adventurers out there, which will be 3 plus the number of players plus 1. So in this case, I have it set up for a 4-player game. These would actually be in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just having them condensed here so you can see them. There will also be stock cards. You can see here there's the number of players plus 2, and there's always 2 fixtures and 2 staff. Players will start with a little bit of money, and what you're going to do on your turn is you are going to either spend gold or use a special card effect or start a sale for one of the adventurers. So if you spend gold, you're simply going to spend a gold to buy a card. You can buy fixtures here, which can be used once per turn. You'll turn them over when they're not done. You'll buy staff, which are free to use once you buy them, but you're going to have to keep paying them each turn or they're going to go away. You have to give them a salary. You can buy these cards, which are pretty amazing cards compared to the ones you start with, and add them to your hand. You'll notice there's a certain star value at the top, but you'll also notice that they are different types of cards here. We have Mage, Fighter, and Ranger, the different types here. Each player has these different types in their starting deck. So you can see here this is a Ranger card, this is a Fighter card, this is a Mage card worth 1 star. While if I buy this one here, this is a Ranger that's worth 3 stars. And also this has a special use you can do, which lets me banish another stock from my hand and draw 3 cards from my storeroom and discard this card. So I can do this, or I can use it when I'm trying to sell items to an adventurer. When you start a sale, you'll take this initiative card. This gives you 1 star and 1 coin added to your sale. It's a kind of motive for doing this. You'll flip over 1 and you'll see what this person wants. So this is a fighter, and they're going to pay up to 8 gold to buy stuff here. So you're going to be then using cards from your hand to essentially bid on that fighter. Now this fighter in particular here wants to use fighting items and mage items, but fighting items more. So if I put this up in an offer, it's basically a bid. This is a fighting item. So there's 2 of those icons on here. So this would be worth 2 stars. If I played this Nightmare Catcher, that would be worth 6 stars playing it for this, while this would be worth 3. And remember, I have 1 if I started this. So I'll make my initial offer, and then each other player can either up the offer or pass. Whoever plays the highest offer is going to discard those cards into their own discard pile. They'll take this, and then you will get either that amount of coins. Well, let's say I win with this. So these are the 2 cards that I've won with, and I also the initiative token. I'm selling 6 coins worth of items. He has 8 that he's willing to spend. I get the lower number. So in this case, I would get 6 coins. This will continue on until all these adventurers have been given out. There are different types of adventurers that will do different things. Sometimes this says when revealed, for example, the richest manager gives 4 to the poorest manager. And, you're just going to keep doing that. Now, these cards do not refresh when they're bought, the fixtures and staff. They'll be replaced later on. You'll turn over a new daily bulletin to start a new round, and then everything is refreshed in between rounds. Players are going to be getting discounts sometimes of different cards that they'll use. You'll discard your hand and draw a new hand in between rounds. Also, the poorest player gets a benefit between rounds, help from headquarters, and you determine that by seeing who has the lowest amount of gold listed on all the adventurers that they have gathered in, and whoever has the lowest amount gets some help. And you're going to draw the top card from both of these decks, and you can buy one or you can take 3 gold. I mean, you can take one of those for free or take 3 gold. You will do this for 5 days. After 5 days, you'll set aside staff and your basic cards you started with. They're worth nothing. You're going to total up how much all the cards that you bought, these cards, how much they are worth, the buy cost. You also you'll look at the buy cost for these cards here in the fixtures that you've gotten, and all the gold coins that you have earned. You will you'll add those to your total score. And then there's bonuses. Some of the cards give bonuses at the end of the game. And whoever has the most is the winner. The rule book is okay. It has a nice glossary here which explains everything, and they do a good job explaining here the card effects. There's a different color and everything. It tells you exactly when each one's going to be used. That being said, there is a lot of information on the cards, and you're going to be constantly asking someone, so what does the Elixir of Volcanic Strength do? It's onic and epic, it's ongoing and epic quality. What does that mean? What does that do? And you'll ask that a lot. The artwork is fine. The card quality is okay. It's not great. They look nice and they're thick stock, but they're not linen finish. But yeah, whatever. The artwork is really cute, and people are, I think that's going to be one of the big draws to the game. Like, hey, look at all these cute little guys with a fun theme about coming in, and there's just all sorts of different artwork here with special abilities. And I think people will also be attracted to the fact that everything is different, and you'll play different games each time. I really enjoyed the theming of this game. I liked, the idea of buying stuff and having adventurers come out. I thought the concepts were pretty cool. You start with a deck of kind of not so good, goods that you have, and then you buy better goods to give out to these adventurers. The idea of auctioning off for adventurers is also good. So I liked all that. And it's just the game itself that I didn't enjoy at all. Now, yeah, I know it's a big thing. There's a big problem and disconnect with this game. There is so much going on, so many different cards, so many special abilities on fixtures and employees and cards and adventurers, and so much going on, and then the game devolves into sheer luck. It really does, and there's other problems with the game, but the luck was the biggest problem I had. And a lot of it has to do with the adventurers row. Okay, I drew a good hand. I got the cards, and I got magic items, and not one adventurer wants magic items. You say, well, then save it for next turn. You can only keep one card from turn to turn. All right, I'll start buying other items, but you may not have the hand. And there's only one more adventurer who's coming to the stores than there is number of players. So you might win 1, but the person who wins 2 has that much more money, which leads me to problem 2. Rich get richer, poor get a little richer, but don't you dare be in the middle of the pack. So the rich get richer. If you get these adventurers, you get more money, which allows you to buy amazing cards, which lets you get more adventurers, which gives you more money. You're on a roll, baby. And the person in last place, they get, a little bit of, ha, you're losing, here's some extra stuff. And the person who's second last, well, sorry, you're not doing bad enough to get the welfare here. And just constantly reading text on cards and cards. And I'm okay with that sometimes, lots of different cards, lots of special abilities, but it just felt like the whole game was just one gigantic crapshoot. I'm a big fan of deck building games, but I want my deck buildings to be involved and interesting or super smooth. This is not smooth. This whole thing just felt really clunky. Okay, I'm starting an auction for this adventurer, so I need to take this tile here, and this is my bid, and these are multiplied by this because it's that, and it comes to you. And then it comes to me, and I'm like, oh, I can't even win it. All right, well, okay, well, that was exciting. We read all that text, but I couldn't even be involved in it. Does that sound like sour grapes? A little bit. But even when I did well in this game, it didn't feel satisfying. It just felt like, oh, the item I needed, I happen to have. And I feel like you don't cycle through your deck enough in this game for it to be worth it, so that if you do draw a bad hand, it's pretty crushing, as opposed to drawing a really good hand. There's a huge first player advantage because there's only so many cards available, and sometimes one of the cards is clearly better than the others, and first player is going to buy that card. And if on you have the really great card on first player, when you have first player, that's an advantage to you. Now, a lot of the stuff you might sit there and say, Tom, a lot of what you're talking about, it's a light game. And I agree. And it would bother me less if the rest of the game felt light. But like I said, there are so many keywords and so many other things that it feels like they were trying to go for a deeper game. I also don't think that that deep game crosses with the art here. You walk in the store and see this and look at the back and be like, this would be a fun game for kids. My kids did not enjoy this. It was overwhelming for some, and for the others, they were extremely disappointed because they didn't have the right cards when they needed them. And they felt, and I concur, that they didn't really know that they were supposed to buy those. The adventurers are just randomly showing up. You don't know what they're going to want, and I found that to be odd. So that's Adventure Mart. I've seen a lot of people on the internet seem to enjoy this one, so take my words with a grain of salt. Possibly you will have a lot more fun with it than I did. But like I said, I want my deck builders to be streamlined or intriguing and deep. This was neither. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment just was too complicated for how simple the game is.